Three, two, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring to you today some good information straight from the devs. Now, this information, first and foremost, this is a bonus one we're going to throw in, which is customization options. Now, if you've ever played any games like Dark Souls or the other types of games that have full customization options, that's where you're seeing here. You can see eyebrows, lips, nose, mouth, all of that. You can move position, depth, angle, length, width. Now, I brought Kyra Mobile on today to talk about some of the changes as well. How are you doing today, Kyra?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
So have you ever been the type that used all the... I mean, I don't use the customization options
Me
personally.
I pick something that I like almost immediately and then get off of it because I will be stuck here forever if I actually like really cared about it and like really wanted to mess with it. So I try to get in, get out.
100%. That's basically what I do too. I normally don't do too much detail, but I know there's like people that play like Dark Souls and, you know, it's a whole thing. People want to spend 8 hours to make yours.
New World was like the most recent game where you had all this like super customization.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to have it. There's a bunch of people that ask me about it, so there's the answer to it. You have it. But now we're going to talk about something more important, which is about a game mechanic. Now, in this game, these are all some new screenshots here. You can see that these are legendary gem spots. You can see there's sockets for normal gems, rare gems, all that. And then there's legendary gem sockets on these gears. Well, now previously, me and Kyra have testified that legendary gems 1 and 2 are accessible to free-to-play, but the big sort of pay to win, type of argument, the one that everyone's really mad about is that legendary 5-star gems, aka the good tier gems, seem to be locked out only to the legendary quest and pay to play, basically. Well, there's a change that I'm glad to actually be able to say today, Kyra, that's way different. So now the rare crests have been buffed, so you can actually farm not the 5-star gems themselves, but you can farm crafting materials with these rare crests. Now, they didn't give us the detailed information, but these rare crests, not the legendary ones, the lower tier ones that actually drop in the game, these will give you materials which will allow you to be able to craft 5-star legendary gems. So we went from it being factually impossible to now you can actually get 5-star gems as free to play. What do you think about that?
At least there's hope here. You know, like that's a massive change. Especially with just seeing how much of a bigger deal 5-star are, even compared to 1 and 2-star legendary gems. It's such an insane difference. So to be able to at least farm this, you're not only wailing out. I think it's great.
There's also some data mined unreleased info that's showing a whole bunch of new gems that's coming to the game that haven't been shown prior. Now, the devs didn't talk to us, the creators, about this, about the new gems, but they did mention legendary gems will have a little bit of reworks, it sounds like. So it sounds like some of the legendary gems we've seen their power are going to be retooled. There's some data mined by Diablo Fan, the website, that shows some of the data that I'll talk about in a different video as well. For me, myself, personally, I think the big takeaway from this today is the fact that these legendary gems, you can see here's a rank 2 one, we can now get up to the rank 5 legendary gems just by crafting them, which is probably the best change we've seen yet in terms of the monetization system. And to be fair, everything I've seen from the game, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, but everything I've seen in the game when it comes to negativity is only around the legendary gem and awakening system and the pay to win side of it. I don't see people complaining about if the game is actually fun to play. I don't see people complaining about it being able to play with your friends. I don't see any complaints about anything else other than the monetization system. And it's nice that we actually got them to address that fact.
That's pretty much what I've been seeing is this right here, this system has been overshadowing any potential positivity on the game from like actually just playing and discussing the game. So it's nice that they're going and changing them because I think it was needed that there's going to need to be improvements on the system. And I was hoping, you know, that's kind of why I've just been wanting to wait and see is because as it was, I really didn't think that they were going to release it that way. So,
I didn't think they were either. I thought it was going to be a hard paywall, rank 5 gem, legendary gems will not be accessible, but now that we have this change, this is a pretty good update in my opinion. Probably the reason I'm doing video particularly about this is I think this is the largest takeaway out of all of the information we got from the devs recently. I think this is actually factually the biggest change. There's also a change to the PvP system, which I'll mention because it's also sort of a change, I suppose, to monetization in a way. So as we know, the Immortals will be the top clan. And before it was like, can you be an Immortal? And then you're sitting around kind of waiting to try to be an Immortal. Now there's actually a PvP clan system, which will allow you to do fighting other non-immortal clans. So if you're a dark clan, you can compete to be a top 10 dark clan, and there's actually tournaments as well in this game now. So they have tournaments, and you can see the different clans. They actually have brackets. They didn't send us the screenshot for this one in particular, but I saw it myself, where there's actually an in-game overlay for tournament brackets, so you can see your clan and you can compete against other tournaments and actually win tournaments, which will give you massive rewards at the end of it, which is another way that free-to-play or dark clans will be able to participate.
I think that's pretty cool that they're doing more than that. You know, it could just be exacerbating the problem, but at the same time, I like that there's still an opportunity to be relevant in a tournament format that's not just immortal, because like that's gonna be the super, you know, mega whales that most people are gonna not be able to take advantage of. But having other tournaments consistently, I think is great.
That was the feedback they said they were receiving, is that they didn't want to lock out a big chunk of the game to a small portion of the audience. So the plan was to basically make it where the PvP is more relevant for people who are, one, not whales, or more casual players in particular, sort of the target market, so that the average player can get to feel what it feels like to participate in sort of in-game PvP. And they also mentioned there's an MMR or matchmaking system with this as well. So when you go to match up in tournaments or go to match up against other clans, you're going to be fighting like power, like MMR clans, so that way you're not just randomly RNGing into the best dark clan in, you know, the entire world, for instance.
Getting smoked, yeah. I'm glad that they're associating at least, like, hopefully a good MMR system there, and when you're actually facing like something that what you should be facing. So I really like that they're adding more to it, because it felt like it was all or nothing. Like you're either immortal or you're waiting to try to be immortal again the next week.
Correct.
So,
and I think that's exactly what they wanted to change, because they said they hated the wait period. They also wanted to change this because the immortal period itself is going to be longer now, because they actually changed some of the way that the shadow system works. The buffs aren't as strong week over week. That way, because they're saying it seems like a hard cap of 4 weeks. Like after 4 weeks, it's almost factually impossible for the immortals to be able to continue the reign. And they didn't want every reign just to be 4 weeks. They wanted some variance in there, which makes sense. So what they did was they changed some of the power of the Dark Clan's percentage of the damage, just the flat damage buff, to an actual more of quality of life change, where as time goes on, instead of having to win like 4 out of 9, 5 out of 9 of the battles, or so be it, it'll go down to where eventually you only have to win 1 out of the multiple battle attempts that happen in order to become the next immortal. It slowly goes down, becomes easier and easier. So they have a little bit of some balanced mechanics for that part of the game as well.
Okay. I think this is big news, especially the legendary gem system coming through. Hopefully make it a little better.
Legendary gym system for me is the big win out of all of this. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. Is there any part that me and Kyra may have missed about this system? Is it as good as we think it is? Is it worse? Let us know. Like the video if you want to support the channel. Subscribe if you want to ever see me again. And with all that being said, I love you. Thanks for coming by. Kyra, you got anything to plug at the end here?
I think that should do it.
There we go. Let's do the YouTuber goodbye. The awkward. Okay, goodbye. I'm just gonna cut it. Cut tape.